my name is Gabe Zollner. Just saw an interesting little snippet on Fox News. And that's where Obama was announcing his new Secretary of State. Well, none other than the senator from Massachusetts. You know, John Kerry. Now, John Kerry is the same John Kerry that tried to avoid paying $50,000 in tax on his new yacht that he had made, or had it made in New Zealand. And, you know, I mean, he registered in a state that didn't require tax on a boat. But he didn't live in that state. But that's okay. You know, I mean, these people can do what they want anyway. You know, I mean, I forgot he's a senator. And senators, well, they're not dealing with the same laws we deal with. For example, they can go ahead and sexually harass anybody they want. And you know what happens to them? Nothing. Just like they can do insider trading. You know what happens to them? Nothing. Anyway, he is going to be the new Secretary of State. He's going to replace that worn-out tire. You know, Hillary, the one that had a concussion so she couldn't testify on the Benghazi report. But here's what's really interesting about the Benghazi report, which I didn't know. The group of people that were commissioned to put it together, that they took what, 3.5 months? Well, they never interviewed the Secretary of State. They never interviewed her. They never asked her one single question about anything. Now, isn't that amazing? She's the Secretary of State. She's the one that got up on national television and said, it's my responsibility. And they never even asked her one single question. Pretty amazing, huh? Nor is there any mention of Susan Rice. Nor is there any mention of, you know who, Obama, or Joe Biden, or Panetta. None of that's in there. They didn't even talk about the Predator. Can you believe that? Now here's this little Predator flying overhead, sending back real-time video that they're all watching, not only in the Situation Room where Obama was, and that's verifiable by the White House records. He was there with Joe Baby Biden, and he was there with his buddy Panetta. They're all watching this go down. I wonder if they had, no, yeah, they could have had buttered popcorn because that's not New York. In New York, they couldn't have had buttered popcorn. But there, they could have had buttered popcorn as they're watching the military guys being slaughtered. There was no mention of any of that. There was no mention of the video. You know, the video that they said was the cause of what took place. There was no mention of any of that. They didn't even mention that Obama said it 6 times at the United Nations that it was the video. That wasn't mentioned either. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? We all know what took place, but this report didn't mention any of it. Now, what it did mention is that it was Ambassador Chris Stevens' fault. Why? Because, you know, he went there. And guess who else they blame? No, it wasn't Bush. I mean, come on. I mean, that would be a real stretch. They blamed the Republican Party. You know why? Because they said if the House of Representatives would have been more loose with their purse, then they could have provided more support. So what happened as far as those 4 Americans that got slaughtered was not their fault. No, it wasn't Hillary's fault. Secretary of State was responsible for everything. She even said she was. No, the problem was Christopher Stevens. It was his fault. And it was also the Republicans. Isn't that amazing? Wow. You know, that took 3.5 months to produce. Now, they needed to get all that facts out for the American people to know. What did we learn? We learned we would have been better going to Disneyland. Yeah, because that's all that report is. Disneyland, it's a joke. Just like the new Secretary of State. He's a joke. Just like the guy that appointed him. He's a joke. I'm hoping that all these jokes get trashed. That could happen. We got 3 different judges in 3 different states looking at a whole lot of similar evidence. We could get lucky. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine if Governor Romney becomes President Romney and that whole dysfunctional administration gets flushed down the toilet? Do you have any idea how much money it would save? What did I read? I read that Obama, the royal family costs the English citizens around $580 million a year to keep them, where they are, in the lifestyle that they're accustomed to. You know what Obama, Michelle, their dog Bo, and their 2 daughters cost the American people? How about 3 times that? How insane is that, huh? Well, it's the American way. Enjoy, have a good time. Why not? We're paying for it.